So long as like alchemy.
All right, y'all. I want you to take a look over Jim's corner. Look at JaVale shooting 3 balls at warmups. This is just a small example of why I'm assuming JaVale hasn't really gotten better and is falling out of the rotation. You see Eric Spoelstra, one of the better coaches in the league, but this is a superstar-driven league. Spoelstra, no stars. Early on, Steph can't get the dunk with the left hand off the right foot. He can barely jump off his strong leg and dunk it. Justice Winslow, the disappointing, what is he, in his 3rd year now, hits the 3. Miami was game early on. You see the lob. There's Bam Adebayo starting in place of Hassan Whiteside, another very Miami rugged garbage man type player. And we got South Beach Clay, y'all. I was worried about Clay. I brought it up. Well, you know how was it Pete Rose that said he played his best baseball hungover? I think Clay fits that mold. Bam, the hezzy. And I thought Zaw might have been a little too slow of foot to play against a smaller lineup that Miami brought out there, again with Hassan out. Abayu is like, see, there he is. Abayu is like a 6'9" guy, but very rugged and just a rebound hard worker, but he's quick and he's a little smaller than, or a lot smaller than Hassan Whiteside. Not sure why he was out. I don't really care. More Clay off the dribble. Draymond back to him. Now, I was kind of wrong about Zaw. He ended up playing 17 minutes, and he had 8 points. None more spectacular than this, and he's shown the ability to finish and get the end one lately. Look at the flip. You guys develop what they're around, and he sees Steph and these guys using the English and the flip, and he's adapted and starting to finish much better. Now, all the whispers of Steph's demise as the greatest shooter of all time are greatly exaggerated. He came out the gate blazing as well. 13 points in the first quarter. Let's take a look at the subtleties of the weak side defense. You see KD starting to step over for the help. Clay's got to step between Dragic and Winslow so he can help to either side wherever the pass is going to go. But instead, Clay stays closer to Winslow, his man, which makes it a much harder closeout to Dragic, who then gets the cheap 4-point play off the 3. You got to shift at the weak side so you can be dynamic in which way you need to help. Now, they brought this up several times during the telecast. They did a great job adjusting, just like Orlando. They were running us off the 3-point line. Over-aggressive Steph, doing the veteran thing, the pump fake, waiting for the overzealous Dragic to run into him so he can get the play. Now, watch Draymond here. He's heading to the locker room during the game. And don't get it twisted. This wasn't about back injuries, y'all. You know how you get the day after bubble guts after you've been drinking? Steph all the way to the rim. No Hassan Whiteside. In the game at Oracle a few weeks ago, he affected a lot of drives at the rim. So you see they talked about it as a back stimulant. Nah, the brothers got the bubblies, putting heat on it to soothe the stomach. James Johnson. Oh, what a move by Jordan. You remember that Marv Albert call, the Jordan up and under move? And he's running their second unit now. He just has a fluorescent green light with the second unit. KD didn't have his legs. If anybody looked like they were out late the night before, it was KD. Look at this sequence. He just didn't have his legs, but he would adjust later on the game, but he was ice cold in this first half. Now, this new wrinkle, I'm going to call corner ice, because if the defender fights through to the corner, Steph will just go all the way around, but if he meets him on the other side, Steph just stops and pops. And we've seen Clay and Steph use that super effective in the last few weeks. Now, Tyler Johnson 3-ball, and once again, it's a team hanging with the champs by shooting the 3-ball very well early on in a game. And I guess this is the part where I say, Tyler Johnson went to Warriors basketball camp as a kid. Now watch Patrick McCaw here pick up ball on Dion Waiters. And this is not about creating a turnover. It's about breaking Waiters' rhythm and making him expend extra energy. Watch McCaw. He just absolutely dogs him. Look at him. He's fighting. He wants the ball back. Look at this. This takes an extra 5 seconds for him to get the ball. Dirty screen by Olynyk. But by the time Waiters gets the ball, it's a wide open 3, but his legs are already spent. That's something high school and college coaches like to do a lot. It's not about the turnover. It's about making the opposing guard expand more energy. McCaw, great job. Livingston to D West, who recognized no Iguodala, that we need him to shoot his shot with the second unit in this game. Now, Olynyk is a pretty good shooter for an aimer. Watch him aim the ball here. You can tell he aims when he shoots. He shoots a decent percentage. Clay on the run out here, and part of his new finishing at the rim is he's understanding his length. Look at him take off from further. He's taking one less dribble. That's a great second effort there, but he's taking less dribbles when he attacks the rim and just using a long stride to get where he wants. Here we go, hop, skip, and another finish again from way further out than Clay would usually take off. Now here's an example of Omri understanding the scouting report and knowing what players want to do, and that's how he makes up for a lack of foot quickness, right? Draymond with the block. Now he's going to close out on James Johnson. Look at him stay down because he knows James really doesn't want that three ball. So he closes out controlled, knowing Johnson doesn't want the three. Once again, he doesn't want the three. He stays down. There's the closeout, and he finally settles for one, and then he challenges late. That's just high basketball IQ from Caspi. So here we go. Look at Tyler Johnson, hands all over. He's hand checking Livingston and then hits him on the way up. And this is where this gets ugly, right? And what's happening here is I feel like there is a subconscious favoritism going on with other teams we play. Because we are a super team, we are the Warriors, these refs, whether they know it or not, are favoring the other team and giving them the advantage on these calls, and the Warriors are done with it, right? Livingston, this is his first ejection in his career, lets you know that it wasn't unprovoked. Clay, again, driving and creating. D West was very nice off the bench in the second quarter, man. He had 8 points, 5 rebounds. There was no Iguodala, right? Livingston with the early exit, so West understood he had to shoot more. Now, Wayne Ellington, 3 first-half threes. There's the gravity, and Olynyk sneaky takes advantage with the big dunk at the rim. Now, it seems like Kerr has gone back to P. Mac over Nick Young, partly because of reasons like this. Watch him under the basket, completely lost, no man's land. Where are you at? Where are you at? Oh, where's he go? James Johnson under the rim and Nick Young. It's hard to develop those instincts defensively at this point in his career. Now, I said KD was struggling really bad to start this game, and it's funny because he had some open looks, but it took a hand in his face to activate his focus, right? Sometimes it's not easy to make the open shot. You need a guy all over you to activate your focus, and that's what it seemed like with KD finally hitting the three, his toughest shot of the night. Now, I think the main reason why we haven't been maybe as dominant as we have in the past is this. Teams are uncorking an extreme amount of threes against us because they know it's the only way to stay in games. Now watch Olynyk throw a bow to Jordan Bell in the post right there, okay? And if you watch him, he throws a bow every time down court when he makes contact with his defender. And there's just something about dude. Whenever I see him, I think of like 70s porn with, you know, I don't know, maybe it's that cubic chin region area. I'm gonna leave him alone though. Bell, the finesse finish in traffic, and it's so rare to see a guy, a high riser like Bell, also have finesse around the rim. Now with KD playing over 100 games with these guys now, you can start to see the familiarity grow, the chemistry, right? The nice little lob, Draymond very accurate. Now watch Steph bail KD out with the baseline cut and nice strong finish at the rim. I still really like Kevin Durant as a playmaker because of his size. You cannot trap him. Second half, Steph pull up, and he started hot, he finished hot, right? And it was good to see because Miami's a team he historically struggles against. More Clay just expanding the game. Watch Steph veer to the center lane, right? Never on the same level, but the pass from Clay made the play. He only had 4 assists, but it felt like every one of them were more spectacular than the next. Steph, look at the Zaw wall, and then look at the pose. If this was baseball, that would have cleared the benches, right? A very long pose after the jumper. He's feeling good to the tune of 30 points in 30 minutes. Now watch this play by Draymond. In the past, he would have forced that pass. You see how the back door wasn't there? But he was patient. He held up. He didn't over-anticipate. And it's going to end up getting the same result at the rim here. So great patience because Miami is going to dig in and play. Watch KD cut here. And then he gets the mismatch and the finish at the rim. But that's all because Draymond didn't force the early home run pass. This time it's Durant with the dime. Clay, the footwork. Again, timing is enabling him to finish the stride and the length at the rim. Now watch Steph. I've got a new theory here. Look at his body language here. Is he show this poor body language at times to rock a defender to sleep? Look at him, head down. He's like, oh, I don't want to be out here. Then all of a sudden he perks up, gets the ball, and makes the dish to Za at the rim. So he might be sneaking guys, rocking them to sleep with the poor body language. This time it's D West. He gotta go, gotta go. What I liked about KD's game was he kind of went to his daddy game, I like to call it. You see there, right there at the foul line, he had several pull-up, just big boy jumpers at the foul line where he's just too big. His size takes over. Here's another one, right? Because he was struggling from the perimeter, but so he went to, you know, like I call it the daddy game because it's like if you're playing your kids, right, and you're struggling, what do? You back them down and just shoot over them. That's kind of what KD was doing. Then Bell, the swan dive block at the rim, gets us out in transition. KD, I thought he was going to go all the way. No, he kicks it out. Swaggy's like, I want in. That was a kind of crazy call, huh? I'm working with that one. But anyway, Swaggy hits the 3, 20-point lead. And this is what's crazy with Jordan Bell is his ability to cock back, one-hand finish at the rim on these alley-oops. No doubt he could have played tight end at Oregon, man. His hands are elite. Speaking of hands, Steph, with the early night, like I said, only 3 quarters, took the wrap off. Doesn't appear to be swollen, but you hate to see Steph with, all these bandages and wraps and war wounds, and we're not even to Christmas. Now, these were my 2 favorite plays of the night. Look at Klay. And that's just complete unselfishness. This let me know, like, he's having fun passing the ball now for the first time in his career, creating for others, and he's actually looking for it. And now look at it. I mean, like I said, each one got better and better. On a rope, D. West like, thank you, young man. Dunk at the rim. So Klay, 19 points, 4 assists, but to me was the best player on the floor all night. We've got a back end of a back-to-back in New Orleans. No Anthony Davis, but keep an eye on Livingston's situation. He may be suspended for, making contact with the ref. Not saying it's right or wrong, but they probably have to suspend S.Ig. Will he miss 3 in a row? See if we can continue this run on the road. I'm out, y'all.